Hey, if you can hear me, make this video big. I want to show you something. At the bottom of the video, if you just click the full screen button, you can also enable subtitles or speed it up if you'd like. While you're working on that, welcome to this walkthrough of your basic statistics course. In this video, I want to show you some helpful resources where you can find those. Also talk a little about the course structure and along the way, give you some tips for success. Look, regardless if you're using your mobile phone, your laptop, using the Canvas app, or using the browser, your experience will look the same. In fact, really through the whole course, you can use everything on your phone. It might make it a bit difficult as we progress to the harder material. Speaking of that material, right now I'm on the syllabus tab. This is where you'll find a lot of information about your instructor. Hint, hint, wink, wink. That's one of the answers to the questions down below. But where most of the material is located is in modules. You can either click on the modules tab, as I've highlighted over here, or you can click on the start here button. While modules queues up, you can see there's a lot of course content here. But let me scroll up to the top because you can see there's a support header. If you click to expand that, you'll see a bunch of resources here. We'll get to it later through the semester. But if you scroll down, there's little icons denoting what each topic is. And so if you scroll, you see some video links. There are many tasks that you'll be asked to perform and learn for this course. And for many of those critical tasks, like for instance, finding the mean by hand or finding the mean using Excel, that's going to be our calculator. These are helpful little excerpts from larger videos that you can use to kind of refresh yourself. And they start off, yes, in chapter 2. And they also, if you scroll down to my favorite chapter, chapter 8, talking about confidence intervals, we got some videos there as well. So I encourage you, check out modules at the top, support, and you'll find some helpful resources at your disposal. That being said, there are many different types of assignments that you'll see. Look, the primary, the big one are the homework ones. You'll see these icon, these check marks. These are mostly just agreements, something that I encourage you to read, take note of, and they shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to go through. But if you look at these homework assignments, these first two, 1.1 and 1.2, are a lot of terms and definitions, and so they're going to look a bit different. If I click into one just to show you, all homework assignments will have links up at the top with some lecture notes, a lecture video walking you through those lecture notes, and also a formula sheet that I referenced earlier in the help section. Like I said, these first two homework assignments look a little different. It's mostly because they have to do with terms and definitions, but the instructions here should be self-explanatory. You start the assignment, it'll give you some instructions for how to use or how to work these things out. And then if you click up at the top here, it'll open up these different questions. You can start with some definitions and you can click through. Again, this looks a little different than our later homework sections, which is primarily what the course is going to be about. And so let me show you what those look like. Again, if you're asking, hey, look, where do I find most of the resources? It's in modules. And so it's where we'll jump off to show you. In fact, we'll scroll down to my favorite section. It's all the way in chapter 8. Let's go 8.1. That's a friendly homework assignment to go through. As I mentioned, all homework assignments will have helpful links for you. When we get into Excel, they'll have a link to open up Excel on your machine. But also lecture notes, yes, a lecture video walking you through those notes, and a formula sheet. One of the things that we built in here is build on last attempt. I'll show you that in a minute. But whenever you open these assignments, it'll queue up, and these are mobile friendly, but you have to hit open external tool and it'll launch it into a browser on your phone or tablet. So these are some of the questions and what they look like. Some of these questions are relatively simple if you understand the concepts, but certainly I'd encourage you, show up to class, answer questions, work things out, and then you won't have to worry about the symbol and you'll understand the application. But for instance, if I answer the first one correct, and I go to the second one and I answer some nonsense, and maybe, all right, it's a rough day, I'm not going to answer all these questions. I'm just like, look, I got one done. Let me submit, and you can do that at the top. Another thing I want to point you to is for many of these questions, there's a calculator at the top that you can click, and you can bring up, and you can do some math in here. Let's say 8 times 8 equals, and you can actually copy that. Double click, hit copy, or you can hit Control C. And once you have that copy, you can simply paste it in. If I exit this out, you can paste it into the answer. You can do the same thing in Excel that we'll get to later, but I encourage you to work on that copy and pasting. It'll save you a lot, especially if there are a bunch of decimal places. Use the calculator, copy your answers, and it'll save you a lot, and then you can round after the fact. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. You can return, jump out if you want to save your progress. It saves roughly every minute, so just make sure you're not typing something in and then jumping out. But if you leave it there and you exit out, it will save what you have. But I'll submit because I want to show you something. If you hit submit, give me a warning because I'm answering some blank, but it'll auto-grade it for me. It'll tell me, hey, look, you got these answers right. Hey, look at that, number 1, but number 2, not looking too good. And many of the homework questions, especially as they get more complicated, will have kind of a little bit of a hint on a way to go. Additionally, if you're completely lost, I encourage you to use those helpful links that I mentioned in the beginning to help familiarize yourself with the content. In the meantime, if you'd like to use one of your additional attempts, you can do that. You can take now. Now, many of these homework assignments, because I want to encourage you to review, to look at what you missed and why, maybe practice a little bit, there'll be a little time stamp waiting. So I'll sit here and wait, but for you, it should just be in a snap. And now we can scroll down and start again. And this is going to use another one of those attempts. And the beauty is that first one I got correct, second, third, fourth, I missed the rest of them. Well, I only have to do those ones that I missed. I don't have to redo the one I got correct. And so you'll see it says start, hey, here with number 2 and what you entered in last time. And if, for instance, I go down here and enter this correct answer, 5.5, I can scroll up. But again, if I don't have time, give it a second, make sure it saves. You can hit return, but I'll hit submit to show that now I got the first answer correct and the third one, but not the second, not the rest. And so my score improved. And you can see, look, first one correct, second one incorrect, third one correct. And so I would have to wait another time frame to take it again to use one of my more attempts. But that way you only have to work on that which you missed. You have to keep redoing over and over. So that build on last hopefully is a beneficial thing for y'all. I'll talk more about how you can get some help shortly in addition to these resources, or if we view results, the comments. Hey, nice work, I got that one correct. But a lot of these comments too, you may find beneficial. If I go back to where all of the content is, which again is in modules, if you're ever not sure, modules is the place to go. There's the support, I mentioned that earlier. There are really 4 main assignments. The first one was homeworks, that's all in Canvas, that's online. And there's a couple mini projects that really connect hopefully with what you're learning in class, what you're doing in homework with semi-real world projects. You're gonna have 4 of those. Those are again, all online in Canvas. The 2 things that we'll be doing in person are quizzes and exams. Those get a bit particular for your section, so you can talk to your instructor, or you should see those due dates either at the bottom of the syllabus tab, or if you're on your phone or on the app, you'll see them in the to-do or the calendar view. One thing I want to mention too is there's a lot of resources at your disposal on this course that you can find, like the helpful resources, the videos that I mentioned, the comments for questions that are incorrect. But there are a lot of ways that you can get help. The primary touch point that you have is the instructor that's teaching this course. You'll find their information in the syllabus tab or on the actual syllabus. They want to help you succeed and they're happy to guide you and to help you. That being said, there are additional resources. We actually have peer tutors here at Lindenwood. They're in LARC 121. That's where that math tutor center is. And you can go there for help for this class, yes, and additional math courses as well. I encourage you, go over LARC 121. They have good space there. And also, if that room is full, LARC is full of great areas to study. Again, I encourage you to check that out before you need help. And then if things get more difficult, outside the door, they'll have a nice schedule printed. You can take a picture of that, and certainly you can show up within those hours and you'll get somebody to help you. So again, a lot of resources to help in the course, yes, and outside the course as well. Let me wrap with this. Thank you for watching this walkthrough for the Canvas course and the various structures. I hope it makes you feel a little more comfortable, a little more confident as you navigate around. It also helps you answer the questions below. Thank you for your time.